What's up guys, Rico here. Welcome back to Chibind Brothers. Well guys, today I'm about to give you an update on RIOT stock and Mara stock. What happened? From the last time I made a video giving you guys an update, or at least a projection of where we were seeing the stock might be performing or where they might be going, we've seen some levels that have been below than where we thought the dip was. So it feels like the dip just kept dipping. It just kept going down lower and lower, and at some point it just feel like, oh my goodness, where is this going to stop? Well, one thing that I would like to make sure that most people don't, or at least most people understand, is the fact that every time when we make videos like this, we try to project at least to see where the stock might be going. It's purely based on what the data is telling us. And most of the time when we make these videos, we show you the data, just like this chart that I got in front of me. Like, we kind of try to show you where we see and where we think is going to go based on certain different type of patterns that we can recognize, patterns that we know. But I am not Nostradamus to be able to tell you the future. Not at all. But all we can do is try to find ways, or try to read what the data, or at least the chart, is telling us, this technical analysis that we do, and we can figure out where Mara or RIOT stock is probably going to go. But one of the things is, once most people watch these projection videos, and then when the stock, let's say, just happens to drop, which happened in this case, most people just freak out. They're like, well, I was thinking this stock was gonna go up to 100 or blah blah blah, whatever. Now it's really down, and this is wrong. And this, look, stock goes up and they go down, especially when you're dealing with high multiple stocks like this one. They're super volatile. Just as much as they can go up so fast, just as much as they can go down that fast. And yeah, they can reach some level that are really not, that you couldn't possibly imagine it would. It might go down to, like, I don't know, $5, and then the next day, or I don't know, a few weeks later, you wake up and it's $50. This is what happened with high multiple stocks, especially when there is a news catalyst that it is strong enough to be able to break, this type of momentum. And this is what we're about to talk, and that's why we're going to give you this update here to know what exactly happened with RIOT and Mara stock, and do we still think that it's going to still reach the same levels that we talked about before, or is this something that we noticed that have changed, which is what we're going to be talking about here. And we're going to make sure and show you that this is going to be based on the chart, not something that I'm just going to pull out of nowhere, or I'm just not saying. And if you have a different opinion, depending on what I'm seeing in the chart, please feel free to share it down in the comment below, because this is purely my personal opinion and not a financial advice. So before we get in, please guys, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you get videos just like this one every single time we post them. So, well, let's get into it. So here's the thing. From last time, this is RIOT stock, by the way. This is the chart for RIOT stock. Last time, the video that I made, I actually still have this whole chart that I actually pulled together. This looked like to be the breakout out of this bull flag pattern I was talking about last time. It looked like it was a breakout. But if you guys remember very well in that video, I also said that in order for us to confirm that this is a breakout, we needed to have another candle, which was supposed to be this one, that has to open and close not only above this resistance level, but open above and close green above, basically making another high, or should I say another lower high, compared to the breakout candle here. And that was going to confirm that we were getting out, or we were breaking out of this bull flag pattern. So that's what we had to wait for. And I actually mentioned that in that video, that if it happens, then that's what was going to happen, where I was seeing where RIOT was going to go. But that didn't happen, because the next day, the candle that actually opened, it opened completely. It did open high, but then it closed lower because there was a massive sell-off, and then we ended up going back into here. But when you look at this, even when I was talking in the other video about this, we were still within this flag, this area here. And look what we did. All we did was we just came back, which is pretty much what also happened here. We came back. And so far, and ever since that day, we've been doing the exact same thing, making lower highs and lower lows, and then another lower high, another lower low. So you can see that these lines, they're still the same lines that I actually draw. I drawn this line, I mean like a month ago, I believe. And so far, we are exactly within this, and it seems to me like the pattern is still there. It's like we tried to break out, but the breakout didn't happen because we did not get confirmation, and then we went back. So now, do I still think, because in that last video I was saying that I was thinking that Riot will probably reach somewhere around $105, and right now it's trading, Riot stock is about $29.30. What happened? Yes, there's a lot of things that's happening, and this is not only happening to Riot stock or Mara stock. This is happening to the broad market, especially everything in the Nasdaq. I mean, you guys have seen it. The Teslas, the Apple, that literally all the high multiple stocks, the ones that we love the most, the ones that move a lot, the ones that can make you the money, really. They're all been selling off, they're all been suffering or going through this. Why? Because there's inflation fears. That's a really big catalyst to what's going on right now. The inflation fear, because the Federal Reserve has printed way too much money. 25% of all the dollars that are in circulations today were printed within the last year. Just think about it, 25%. And the federal government, not only that, we've gone, I believe, through 3 different stimuluses. We print trillions of dollars so far. There's so much money that was printed. At some point, we're going to have to catch up. But most people were thinking the Feds were going to increase the interest rate in order to be able to control the inflation. But guess what? Last time, and I believe that was exactly somewhere around this date here, back in April, and Jerome Powell came out and said they were not planning on increasing inflation, and he kind of dodged down those questions and saying they were still going to keep it at the same level probably until 2023. And that did not resonate very well with Wall Street, because they were thinking that it's really hard. They're going to be forced, because inflation is going to go so high, and they will be forced to increase interest rates in order to be able to balance this. So with that being said, and you have the chip shortage going on all over the places, this became an issue, because guess what? Riot stock and Mara stock, these companies, they mine cryptocurrencies, bitcoins and all that, and they depend on chip makers like Nvidia or AMD, all these companies, and there are chip shortage. So these are really huge catalysts that happen to make things very, very difficult. And we ended up going back in here. Just because we pulled off from the level that we were before, that doesn't mean we could be able to come back. Because look how low we reached in a very short period of time, because these are high multiple stock, which means they just as much could be able to go back up, or at least to reverse this pattern when it breaks out of it, and they can surprise you. And I believe I said in that video, because I still see the same thing here, and if you watch, you go back and watch, and you see we're still within the same pattern. At some point we're gonna break out. This is a bull flag. It will break out. When? I don't know. I can't tell you when it's gonna break out, but all I know is this pattern will end up breaking out at some point, because it will not just keep selling off. And I will show you the Bitcoin chart. When you look at the Bitcoin chart, it did exactly the same thing. What do you see? Like we said, bam, 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 and then this is when it happened. We broke out of it here, and that's what happened on this day. This is what happened here when we came back into this bull flag. Do I still think it's gonna go up there? I still think so. Why? And in that video, I believe I said it would take about 3 to 4 months, 2 to 3 months before we actually get to these type of levels. And we still got time to even get there. And get this, Bitcoin hasn't even gone into the super cycle just yet. We're still going through these levels, but we have not reached the super cycle just yet. And I believe when Bitcoin super cycle is going to happen, I think Riot is going to perform just as much. And I can go actually out here and pull up Mara stock at the same time, since I'm talking and giving you guys the update on both of these. And I would like us to be able to look at them and see exactly what's going on. And here, actually with this one, we can all see it pretty well and what is going on right now. You can see when we broke out, actually Mara and Bitcoin chart, you guys can see it's exactly look the same. I can put it back again right here, and if I come back here and go, this is Bitcoin, you see the chart, and this is Mara. Again, they broke out of this, got out of this pattern below, and then did kind of an arc right there. And same thing for Bitcoin, it did that, and this is where we at. And this is where we at with Mara. So you can tell that it's literally mimicking the same thing. And these are high multiple stocks, so they move really fast. So just as much as they can go down, it is just as much as they can turn around and go back up. When, again, I can't tell you that, I'm not Nostradamus, like I said earlier, but when we look at the data, we can still tell that we are reaching levels that where we're seeing a balance. Like for example, right here, when you look at Mara stock, you can tell, actually I can come back and show you guys really quick what I'm talking about. We're already reaching some support right there. Even if I go all the way from here, and it's all based on the data. You can see that this what used to be a highest level, and then we resisted. I mean, we bounced right there on the support, and then support. This one got very close, then support, and then here we are. And then we got the earnings that just came up, and you can see we got a green candle here, and it looks to me like we're about to go back up again. So this is literally what the data is showing. Just like what happened here, it happened to Bitcoin. So I believe once Bitcoin goes into the super cycle and he actually breaks through the super cycle, I think Mara and Riot stock will be able to go also into their own kind of super cycle. But the only difference you also have to know is these ones goes down because there is a difference between stocks and crypto. You see, the value today, even though crypto went back up a little bit, you might think, but why is Mara or Riot don't go back up to those levels maybe for now? But one thing you have to understand, in the stock market, there are also short sellers. But in the crypto market, there is no short sellers. So when short sellers sees opportunities like this, like right now, almost the overall market is literally crashing or going down, they take those opportunities to short these stocks even more to push the value of them even lower. But again, high multiple stocks, which means they move just as fast because they are high beta stock. They can go low as fast or go back up just as fast, even though they might be lagging behind Bitcoin, but at some point they will. So that's pretty much what I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of an update and where I see, and I still stand to those. I still think within 2 to 3 months we're gonna get there, just like I said in the other videos, and I think we still got some time. If you're in for the short term, this is going to be difficult, but if you're in for the long term, or at least you're in to wait, well, eventually it's gonna get there. But just like I said, this is my personal opinion based on what I'm looking at and what I think is going to happen. If you do your own due diligence, try to figure it out and do your own research. And if you find something completely different, please feel free to let us know if we're missing something out or something that we did not mention. But so far, we think things are just happening because of the entire market is going through the same thing. But at some point, I feel like we're going to be reversing. And at some point, I feel like we're going to change direction. And Riot and Mara stock will be able to pretty much get back on track to where they used to be or even more. So thank you for watching this video. If you would like to invest in the stock market using Webull, please sign up with the link in the description below. Deposit at least $100. You and I will both gonna get at least 4 free stocks. So, well, that's it for me. As always, guys, I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.